Go tell the people who are going to gather here this afternoon that you should not be protesting a Minister of the Crown's right to serve the people of Manitoba. And I would say to the goofballs out front, if you have an issue, you have an issue with me. I am the one who decided to keep this minister at the cabinet table.
Member's time has expired.
So much for one Manitoba under this false premier. Manitobans have the right to protest. They have the right to freedom of speech. You heard it here. This premier is trying to silence you. Democracy, freedom of speech, debate, these are all healthy things in this province. I want to start off by being incredibly clear here. Violence and threats have no place in political discourse or society. Everyone should feel safe at work, in public, or at home, no matter how much someone else might disagree with them. The vandalism and fires at constituency offices are egregious, and I condemn such acts completely. This must stop. This is not right. Now, when the Minister of Families rationalized the assassination of Charlie Kirk, she crossed a line that I did not expect to see from a member in this chamber. Regardless of political beliefs, violence is never the answer and never something to be justified or rationalized, but the Minister of Families did just that. She justified and rationalized the murder of someone whom she did not agree with. The question is simple. Why is the Premier keeping a minister in his cabinet who has showed such visceral hate, condoned political violence, and showed no empathy for someone that was murdered in front of his wife?
Time has expired.
Well, I'm keeping the minister in cabinet because she's a great minister and because I don't believe in cancel culture, unlike the members opposite. But here's the thing about the leader of the opposition. He wants to throw the stone and hide the hand. Right. He wants to engage in the wedge politics, but appear to rise above at the same time. What was that nonsense of a question we just witnessed here? He says, targeting political people is wrong, and then he runs and targets a political opponent in this very chamber. This is what I mean by he underestimates the intelligence of the members of the Conservative base.
Manitobans, you heard it right here. According to this Premier, I can't even ask a question. A question to hold them accountable is deemed violence by this Premier. No, a question is democracy. We're having debate. Manitobans have the right to get answers from this failing NDP government. He says he's falsely listening. Well, will he listen today? Manitobans have been loud and clear. They've lost faith in the Minister of Families. She blocked the only Indigenous national news team. She blocked foster families for contacting her. She separated children from families and put them in hotels. She posted that she has no empathy for a man that had been murdered in front of his family. So, Honourable Speaker, today I table over 450 emails from different Manitobans demanding the minister be removed from her office. Will the Premier listen to Manitobans like he falsely says he is and remove the minister, the failed Minister of Families, from her cabinet position today?
Well, I'm going to resist commenting on how he struggled to lift the binder and instead focus on the words, okay? When we're talking about the words that the member opposite used here, let's focus on this. Everybody watching here in the House, everybody watching at home, does he attack me? No, he doesn't. He attacks the Indigenous woman sitting in the front row. That is what we're calling out. That's what my colleague from River Heights brought attention to. People will come to my constituency office, 300 people, and they will protest, but nobody ever thought to light a match. Why is it that that happens to our colleague from St. John's? Why is it that that happens to our colleagues from Point Douglas? It seems like gender-based violence. It seems like Indigenous-specific racism. And what is the member opposite engaging in here? Does he call me to account? No, he has to target the member for St. John's because he doesn't have the heart to strike out a new path. He wants to pander to the base. He wants to pander to division. He wants to continue listening to
time has expired.
Here's the difference, Honourable Speaker and Manitobans. I don't need to attack the Premier, but I can ask him tough questions. I can hold him to account, and that is what our job is. That's what I'm doing. And when I do that, what does he say? Violence. It's not violence. I am asking him a question to be accountable for Manitobans, and what does he throw? Racism in our face. What does he throw? Violence. This is gaslighting by the Premier right here, clear as day. It's our job to hold him accountable. Will this Premier today explain to all the Manitobans, over 450 emails, why he is keeping this failed Minister of Families in Cabinet? Will he respond to each one of them personally, or will he just avoid them like he's avoiding all of the accountability for his failed ministers across the way? It's very concerning for the Premier to equate my job, Manitobans' right to ask questions of the government and hold them accountable to acts of violence and racism. Last time I checked, I am a visible minority who is a proud leader of the Progressive Conservative Party. It's shameful. It's disgusting that the Premier would equate questions to violence. It's wrong. He's gaslighting.